Hey guys, David Vose here. Well, I found this little representation to show you how the moon waxes and wanes. Now, if you look at that, that looks pretty normal. That looks like it's logical. The sun's on one side, the earth's on the other. We're going to see no moon, right? Because the light side of the moon's on the other side of the moon. We won't see it, so we don't see anything. That's the new moon. That makes some sense. Maybe. But that's not the way the sun would actually be. Because when you look up in the sky, the sun and the moon look to be about the same size. In fact, the moon will eclipse the sun, and so we know that for some strange, crazy reason, the sun and the moon looks like the same. But if you go a little further, as the moon goes around the earth, you see that this is what they're saying. You're going to see just half a moon there, right? Is that logical to you? It isn't logical at all to me. I don't know if you can already tell, but just the way that's drawn, which isn't correct because the sun's much bigger than it should be compared to the moon, but it doesn't really matter because you can see that the light of the sun would reach far beyond what they're showing it would, and it wouldn't just be a half a moon. You'd see a full moon. Let me show you what I mean. Look at how the sun should actually be. All right, so if the sun and the moon are about the same size, then if you were standing anywhere on the earth that you could even see the moon, because it doesn't look like if you were on part of the earth, you wouldn't even see the moon. But if you were at a 45-degree angle with you were like somewhere in the equator or whatever, you would be able to see all the way to the moon. Look, it would be a full moon. The angle of that sun would shine so that it would look full. As long as they're both up in the sky, why would you see half a moon? The light from the sun would shine all the way, the whole full moon. You see, because the sunlight is not being blocked by the earth in any way. So the entire moon, as far as my mind comprehends, should be full. Anytime you see the moon and the sun in the sky, it should be a full moon. There's no obstruction by the earth anywhere making any kind of a shadow on the moon. So anywhere you could see the moon, there's still no earth making any shadow. It should appear to be full. Take a look. There it is. Okay. Now, notice that I'm looking sort of northwest or something out here in New Mexico, and I see this beautiful moon, and I'm thinking, okay, so it's only light on one side, so therefore the sun, if the earth wasn't in the way, right, this whole moon would be lit up, right? The earth is casting a shadow, right? Well, take a look at this. There's the sun. And over there's the moon. So the earth is not in the way. There it is. The earth is not in the way. There's just nothing but space between the sun there it is. But anyway, I mean, I'm on top of the earth. The earth's beneath me. This is all sky. The sun's above me and the moon's above me, and yet there's a half the moon missing. That's pretty strange to me. All right, now, look. Moon's gone halfway across the sky, almost down the other side. This is looking east. We were looking at it in the western direction. Now we're looking at the eastern direction. And so it's light on the top, dark on the bottom. But if we go over here, there's the sun. Now the sun has gone a little further and is setting in the west. It's going to set in the west. It's not, you know. So there's the sun, okay? Oh, there's the moon. Now look, the moon is bright on the top. Now, I'm no physicist. I'm not even a mathematician. And I never been to high school. Never went past the 5th grade, went to 2 months of 6th grade. But even I can see that if the top of the moon is shining bright and the bottom's not, the source of light must be coming from above, off in the direction way up in the air above it. And yet, I will show you that the sun is not obstructed by the earth, not above the moon, but beneath the moon. I mean, it should be shining on the entire moon. I don't think you need to be a mathematician to see that if the reason for the darkness on that other side of the moon is that the earth is making a shadow, and yet the sun is high in the sky in the total opposite direction, shining on the bottom of the area where there's no light, but the sun is shining there, but there's no light casting on the moon, then something's very strange. The question is, what is in that direction, that where I put that yellow spot, in that direction, way off into space, there is a light source or some reason that the moon is lit up on that side, but the sun's not in that direction. The sun's nowhere near that direction. I will show you, if you look very carefully, play this over and over again if you need to, but this does not make any logical sense. So, the only possible reason, in my mind, that the moon could be lit up on one side is that there is a source of light shining on the moon from above it, away from the earth, far, far away. Or it could be like a battery cable, and if you pull the battery cable off, then the battery or the bulb or whatever it is that you're trying to hook up to it by having the cable on is not making contact, so it's not lit up. If the moon was just like a light bulb or something, and it needed to have a cable hooked up, maybe that cable would be like a line of energy off into that direction. Maybe it's not a sun shining on it. Maybe it's just a cable or a wavelength of energy going off in that direction. Maybe it's towards the center of the galaxy. I don't know. But the sun and the moon are in direct line. And that yellow dot on the left bottom corner is where the sun actually is. It should be shining on the bottom of that moon. But it's not. Something's off here. The entire moon should be lit up on that side, because there is no obstruction. So something else is lighting up the moon, or the moon is its own source of light and it only lights on one side. The light is like inside the moon, turning around and around, because the moon itself doesn't turn, because we always see one side of the moon. So either there's a like a light bulb inside the moon, and it goes around and around like a gyroscope or some kind of thing inside the moon, shines on one side of the moon, and the moon is its own light, or there is some source of light far, far in the distance that is not our sun. What could that be? the center of the galaxy could be some source of energy causing things to light up? It certainly can't be our sun, friends. Take a look. So if the sun is shining on the moon and the backside of the moon is dark, that sun should be way up that way. Straight up. Not way over there in the west. Because if that sun is shining and missing the earth, because, you know, the earth is round, so it must go down that way, right? So if the sun or the moon was right there, it should be a full moon. In fact, every day should be a full moon when the sun's high in the sky and you can see the moon in any shape, way, or form in the sky. It should always be a full moon. But oh, look at that plane. Oh man, it's going fast. I don't know why I can't hold it, but it's hard to hold it. Well, it's crazy, but anyway, the moon is light on the top half. I'm just going to go straight over, and there's the sun. The sun shines all the way around the circumference and shines all the way across, and the rays don't hit the earth. You know? So anywhere on that moon that I can see should be light. So where is the light? Coming from that's lighting the moon. And this brings me to a final question. And this has nothing to do with the earth being flat or anything like that. But I do have a question. If one possibility is that the moon has its own light, it's not being reflected by the sun, obviously, because if it were, it would be a full lit up moon. But it literally looks like the moon is lighting up on one side, and there may be a gyroscope ball of light inside it going around and around. But it is interesting that the source of light that lights up half of the moon cannot, in my mind, and if any of you mathematicians out there or astronomers can explain it to me, please be my guest. In fact, post a link if you know where there's a video that explains this. But don't post a link or an explanation that just ignores everything I just said. I need to know why the sun is coming from the angle almost beneath the moon and not being obstructed by the earth or any earth shadow, and yet we only see half of a moon, and it's the top half. So the source of light for that moon, if it's a reflective light, has got to be off in that direction. My only conclusion is what I have been saying for years and years and years. And I think this demonstrates this very clearly, that light doesn't travel and shine and bounce off of stuff, but some kind of there's something that's excited. There's something that is turned on. That's where they talk about particles or waves. Is it a particle flying, like there's photons flying and they're reflecting off the moon? Or is it just a wavelength, meaning that there's a lot of little lines that get lined up and then it vibrates and turns the moon on? And so the moon is kind of like an element in your stove. It turns on, or an element in your light bulb. And so when you get this direct line between some other positive or greater positive source, greater positive energy, it turns the moon on. But it could be millions of zillions of trillions of light years away. It could be the center of the galaxy, because the greatest positive force would probably be the center of the galaxy or something of that nature. And so my theory is that the moon is light on that side, away from our sun, because on the side that is light, there's a direct line to the center of the galaxy. I don't know if that's the direction of the center of the galaxy, though. I'd have to look into that. But maybe it would be some other huge nova or star system or some other greater energy. Perhaps it's in line with the star Sirius or something. But anyway, I'm going to probably just leave it there. It's just, strange to me. You guys tell me what you think. All you astronomers and mathematicians and, you really big scientists, let me know what you think. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. May the Lord bless you.